Hi everyone. This video is all about breath exercises and what we can do to increase our vital capacity, which is the amount of air we take in, and how to regulate that air for singing so we can have better breath management, sometimes called breath control, for singing with a sustained airflow with as little pressure laryngally as possible. So the first exercise we're going to do is all about flexing the muscles of the ribs. There are two sets of intercostal muscles, the external and internal intercostal muscles. Those muscles are what, when they contract, either lift the rib cage up and away from the lungs or pull them back down to then squeeze more air out of the top of the lungs. What we want to do is engage only the external intercostal muscles, which are those muscles that flex and move the ribs up and away from the lungs. Then we want to disengage them so that they just relax oh so slightly and then re-engage. So we typically call these rib lifts, which is the idea of having those external intercostal muscles flex and move up and away. So if you take your two hands and put them right underneath the base of your rib cage, not quite your floating rib, that might be a little too low, but the base of the rib cage itself, and you flex those muscles, what you can see is that it moves up and away. Right? If I turn from the side, you can see it this way too. It expands this way and this way. If I put my hands here, those muscles also come up, of course, to the top of the ribs. So if I flex those muscles, then it also has that sense of lifting away slightly, and you hear the air is coming in. Because of course, as those muscles flex, the lungs get larger, it creates a vacuum effect, and air comes into the lungs. That's a byproduct of this exercise. So all we're going to do is flex for 20 counts. All right? Get rid of your air. Inhale. And now flex. Flex, release. Flex, release. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing as you do this. 6, 7, 8, 9. You'll notice how gentle it is. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then give yourself a pause. The next thing to do after you isolate those rib lift exercises is to do a series of SH pulses. Shh. And the idea is to maintain that same sense of flex through those external intercostal muscles while releasing the pressure abdominally. So this is staying lifted, shh, and we get the gentle lift here, shh, shh, to remind ourselves of the gently raising diaphragm being what's moving air out. All right, so once you do the rib flexes, now add in the SH, and you can do that for the same count of 20. Ready? Go. Shh, release. Shh, shh, shh. 5, 6, 7, maintaining the flex. 8, 9, so this is not collapsing during the SH. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's a great way to remind ourselves to keep the ribs lifted up and away from the lungs, that sense of width through the rib cage and lift through the sternum, that way so that the only thing that's going to be working are the abdominal muscles eventually and that gently raising diaphragm, releasing air slowly up and out through our mechanism. The other thing you can do along very similar lines is put on a favorite song that has a pulse, and you can do those rib lifts with the pulse. Let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, it being your tempo of the song. So you could do pulse, release, pulse, release, pulse, release, and alternate that with some shh, shh, shh. And you can do it during any song that you're listening to. It's a fun way to develop the flexibility of those external intercostal muscles. The next exercise we're going to do is Farinelli, which, as you'll remember, has several components. This is the one that is legendarily what the famous castrato singer of the 18th century did to be able to facilitate his singing very long phrases, especially in Handel operas, is what he was most renowned for. Whether or not this is true is entirely beside the point now. It's a great exercise for developing vital capacity, reminding ourselves of a nice low breath, and then of isolating just the slow, steady stream of air that is what we're going to sing on, from the release of the diaphragm being the only thing that's moving air out of the lungs. So I'll walk us through the components before we do it a couple of times. First, you're going to be certain that you're in good alignment. This one is best done standing. Remember that you want to be able to shift your weight so that your knees aren't locked, your hips are unlocked, so everything can release abdominally. From there, we're going to get rid of all of our air, and we're going to inhale to the count of 8. While we're inhaling, we're going to bring up our arms to airplane arm position. So we're going to release all our air, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once we get there, we're going to roll our shoulders gently back. That's to remind ourselves to stay nice and wide through the rib cage and lifted sternum, just like we were doing in the previous exercise. And then once we're there in optimal alignment from the top half, we're going to inhale again. You're going to find that you can take more air in. We never quite breathe to vital capacity. At that moment, you'll probably feel a little bit of stretch as the air comes into the lungs and you're filling them more than you are used to. That's perfectly normal. From there, after we have the shoulders rolled back, we inhale again. Now we're going to pant. And the reason for the panting is to encourage the space between the vocal folds, which is called the glottis, that's the space between the vocal folds, to stay open. What typically happens is we take a low, deep breath, and especially then add more air to it, is that our brain thinks, oh, you need this air to survive, I'm going to help you hang on to it. So the vocal folds act as a valve on top of our respiratory system. They come together, and the epiglottis comes down over them to say, okay, you've got all this air for as long as you could possibly need. And what we want to do is discourage that from happening. That's what the pant is good for. So once we get here, we get our shoulders back, we inhale again, then we pant. Should feel very relaxed in the throat and the larynx itself. You'll notice I also use that as an opportunity to relax my tongue. It comes slightly out of my throat. It's just a wonderful reminder, not necessarily crucial to this exercise, but something I like to do. Then, after we pant, we're going to inhale again, take another gallon of air in, feel all of that low release, and then we're going to slowly release that air on a very light S sound. Keywords there are very light. Should be like a tire leaking air, slowly and steadily. While we release the airflow on the S, we're going to be bringing our arms slowly down, maintaining the width and lift of the upper rib cage, and resisting the urge to do anything abdominally until the last 3 to 5 seconds when you know you're about to run out of your air. That's when I want you to use those abdominal muscles to lift gently up and in. All right? So once we're here, we've panted, we take another gallon of air in, we're going to have for about 30 seconds. If this is the last of my seconds, if I turn to the side, then I've been resisting the urge to do anything here. At the end, so that we have that gentle release up, and then the next thing that happens is all of those muscles release and air comes back in. That would be the next breath in a musical phrase, for example. So it's a great way to do it. You might find that the first couple times you do this, you get lightheaded from the amount of air that you take in, and it's slowly release out of your body. Those are very usual responses. Also, you'll find probably as you start this exercise work that the amount of time you can go for might be closer to 20 seconds. Typically is 15 to 20 for most singers, and then you can start adding seconds to it. 30 to 40 is a great stretch goal to be able to have that airflow be continuously light. And what's happening, of course, as that airflow is being released, is that the diaphragm, which is in this position at rest, flexes down on the inhale, so that when you're exhaling, it's slowly relaxing upward. coming back to its position as basically an upside down bowl there. So that relaxation can be very steady. We just want to stay out of its way as much as possible. That's what this exercise is so very good for. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's give the whole thing a try now. All right, check your alignment. Get rid of all of your air and inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shoulders gently back. Inhale again. Feel that low stretch. Pant. Nice and relaxed in the throat. Take another gallon of air in and leak it slowly out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 should feel very steady. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. And get rid of any air that you have left. You might find that at the very end, you can blow out a little more air. Be certain to that. Then take a nice low breath in and let it out. Always good just to get a couple of normal breaths in and out after doing exercise work like that. Now you can go back and rewind, do that a few times to have that exercise be then something you can layer seconds onto. The other great thing to do is to add pitch to it. So rather than the S sound, you could do zzz, any comfortable mid-range pitch. Everything holds true as you go through there. As you are bringing your arms down with the slow release of the breath, now you're just adding pitch to it to encourage the vocal folds to gently vibrate. Don't try and be anywhere in range extremes, just a nice, comfortable mid-range. The other thing I like to do as I do this exercise is once I get here and I've done my shoulders, I inhale and I pant. Once I inhale again, to pant one more time, and then top it off with a little more air, and then I release. And what I find is that on the second pant, I have a little more tension I can release there from that next inhalation. So keeping everything nice and loose. All right, let's do it one more time. You can choose to release on the S or on a nice comfortable zzz sound. But check that everything is staying relaxed, that nothing is happening abdominally until the very end when you're going to allow it to gently lift up and in on your last 3 to 5 seconds. All right, check out your body, get rid of your air, and inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shoulders gently back. And inhale again, nice and low. Pant. Inhale again. Now you can choose to pant again. Inhale once more and out. Zzz, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it steady? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Now be the time that you're using your abdominal muscles. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And get rid of any air that you have left. Nice cleansing breath in and out. And then once you've mastered this, you can go beyond 30 seconds. Into that 30 to 40 second window is a great stretch. And I leave that to you if that is something you want to do. Happy work on your breath. Remember, the system is designed to work for us. We just have to stay out of its way as much as possible. Thanks, and take care of you.